Firstly, we need to have the 17mm spanners, an 8mm, 13mm, 10mm, and 12mm spanner and a Phillips screwdriver. Then we need to insert the handrail tube into the handrail mounting tube. Keep the top and bottom for holes aligned. Then thread in the screws. Adding flat spring pads to the lower part of the screws. Insert lock nuts into the heads of the screws. Tighten the screws with two 17mm spanners. Step 3. Installation of adjustable wire rope. Insert the pin first. Then put the screw at the top of the wire rope through the pinhole. Screw in the nut on the threaded screw. This is an important step. Be sure to install the step before the machine starts up. Otherwise, it will affect the gearbox. Step 4. Install the U-shaped handrail. Start by wrenching the U-shaped armrests apart. Then thread in the screws. Install the flat spring pad on the end where the screw comes through. Then screw in the star nut. Tighten the star nut. Step 5. Install throttle adjustment handle. Unscrew the nut first. Then attach the handle to the U-shaped handrail. Then thread in the screws. Screw a nut on the end of the threaded screw. Tighten the nut with an 8mm spanner. Check that the handle is not loose. Step 6. Install the engine. Unscrew the nut of the mounting screw on the trowel first. Then align the engine mounting holes with the 4 mounting screws. Then screw in the nuts on the 4 screws. Tighten the 4 nuts again with a 13mm spanner. Step 7 Throttle pull cable and stall cable installation. Let's start with the throttle cable and the stall cable. Through a small tube in the armrest. Loosen the terminal protection cover. Then unscrew the terminals of the flame failure switch. Then plug in the adapter cable that comes with the trowel. One end of the adapter cable is connected to the engine's flame failure switch. The other end is connected to the ignition switch of the trowel. Then close the protective cover of the terminal. Step 8 Install the Callan brackets. Align the bracket with the 2 threaded holes on the engine bore. Screw it in screws. The mounting bracket is a U-channel. You can check how the housing and pulley are touching after the rear housing is installed. Then tighten the screws with a 12mm spanner. The clutch spacer is then threaded onto the power crankshaft. Then we need to insert the key. Then put the clutch on. When installing the clutch, keyway opening and key should be aligned. Then thread the shims on the clutch mounting screws. Screwed into the threaded hole in the crankshaft. And tighten the screws with a 10mm spanner. Then install the belt. Put the belt into the groove of the clutch first. Then tighten into the belt disc. The fitted belt must be kept loose. Then install the cowling. Unscrew the 4 screws on the cowl bracket first. Then align the 4 holes in the cowling with the 4 threaded holes in the cowling bracket. Then tighten the 4 screws with a 10mm spanner. After installing the cover, check that the belt cover does not touch the upper and lower pulleys. Then unscrew the 2 nuts on the air filter cartridge. Then remove the air filter. Loosen the fastening screws again with a 10mm spanner. Allow the throttle handle to move smoothly. Then use a Phillips screwdriver to loosen the lever screws. Then use a 10mm spanner with a screwdriver to loosen the screws. Then insert the throttle cable in the middle of the insert. Put a wire on the throttle cable. Insert into the small hole in the throttle handle. The metal part of the throttle handle cable is pressed firmly with a pressure plate. Use a 10mm spanner with a screwdriver to tighten the screws. Keeps the throttle wire from loosening. Then install the air filter back in. Screw back the nut. Tighten the nut with a 10mm spanner. When this step is over, the whole installation procedure of the troweling machine is completed. Then you can follow the normal engine start procedure for the rear engine. Please feel free to contact Excalibur if you have any questions or needs about the back side of the trowel.